Well, we are here Sunday night at the kitchen table drinking coffee.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
We've been lazy. We
No,
haven't been posting.
Just took a break from
Yes, we took a break.
YouTube, but you guys have probably seen some of the videos of the windstorm. Just kind of a recap. I didn't know there's any wind predicted, and then the principal of our school sent a message on the school chat that said, might not have school tomorrow. There's supposed to be a big windstorm coming. We'll see if the power goes out. Like I said, I didn't know there's anything predicted until I saw it on the school chat. So I went on my phone, checked out the weather app. I'm trying to remember what it said. Yeah, 35 miles an hour, gusts up to 75, 74. I'm like, whoa, okay. Starting at midnight and running through 6 o'clock, starting at midnight, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and then running till Thursday afternoon or whatever.
I think the sheriff department sent out a warning, didn't they, on Facebook?
They might have.
You know, the night before, I just didn't think it was serious. Everything was just peaceful, calm, quiet, but like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I got up and it was scary. That wind was blowing. It was
the gusts.
blowing hard.
There was a lot of shingles that up on the ridge cap. A number of the shingles blew off. There's shingles laying in the yard, and I felt and heard that it was windier than it's ever been since we've been at this place. I got up, and I usually have a big light. I got up, and the first thing is looked out that window to see if this one big tree was there, and it was not there. And I looked back, the next one was gone, the next one was gone. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I couldn't see, it was dark, and it was still windy. It was blowing like unbelievable.
I wish I'd have grabbed my camera and gone outside and recorded. It was scary windy.
So the two big trees, the one by there's two of the big trees that we left out, one in front of the shop, the other one in front of the barn. I looked and those were gone, and I looked in the squinting out there in the dark, and because the power went out, and looked, and I didn't see them, that they flopped. I saw they were kind of on an angle towards the trailer, and I saw they hit one of the trailers. But that is one thing that was always in the back of my mind, was if those trees would go down and they would hit one of my buildings.
Yeah.
It would be bad.
It was nice because I like having mature trees on the property. It makes it feel like it's been established.
Yeah.
And the homestead has been established, and it feels homey. So we have lost a lot of trees. The first storm we had was how long ago? A couple weeks ago we had a storm.
About a month and a half ago.
Okay.
And
we lost quite a lot of trees.
We lost a few, but
this,
none of the big ones went, or did it? No, none of the big ones. Well, no, I'll take that back. There was 2 that went down. For some odd reason, some of the firs they have dry rot up the middle. The one that blew down didn't uproot; it snapped off.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, it snapped.
So do you have to dig up those roots?
I have to dig up the roots, and the other 2. Well, I'll take that back. One snapped. The other 2 that I saw, they were uprooted.
Oh, and then we have a whole bunch of small trees just all bent over one way.
Yeah,
and you're gonna have to weed through those because those are not the nicest sight when you walk in the property.
I have one over here that I saved, trimmed it up, put a birdhouse on it. It was nice and straight, just a beautiful fir that just it kind of grew by itself, so it's nice and full. And it's now bent over the way a lot of the big trees were when we bought the property, but it's small enough. I'm been going out there every now and then looking at it, and I think, if I would crawl up the tree maybe 30 feet or so, 20 feet, and maybe hook a strap onto it.
That's an idea.
And winch it back.
Because we were planning on building like a swing on some of these trees.
Yeah.
Is any of those still standing? The ones that we're going to build a swing?
I wasn't 100% sure where I'm going to build the swing.
Oh, we need to get that swing set built before the boys grow up.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're growing up so fast.
So we have use for the lumber.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
make use of it. It'll be a lot of firewood. Line of order is going to be to get the covered patio back here. And then we'll see what we have left after
Yes.
that. The issue I have is it's completely green. You should let it sit a year and that will be decently dry. The thought just came to me in the last day or so. Most of the material would fit in my shop, and I'm thinking I might just go out and start milling and clear out the one side of the shop, the main part where I have the drying racks and where the chickens are. Stack it up against the wall and just cut everything I need for this covered patio, and then crank the heat up to about 70, 75 degrees in the shop and put a dehumidifier, turn on the dehumidifier.
And kind of dry the trees in there.
I would have to,
Yes.
I'd have to stack it in there. I'd need to sticker it, put a fan on it just to keep some wind blowing. And they'll dry out pretty decent. It's a little bit of a process, but I don't want to wait until September.
Yeah.
October,
So for
you
those
know.
of you who might not know, right out here, we want to hopefully build a patio. And I don't just want a patio. I would love to have like a rock or a concrete like stove where I can do my canning.
Yeah.
And have like a wash basin where I can wash my vegetables.
Like an open
And,
summer kitchen.
Yeah, open summer kitchen where I can do a lot of cooking. Have like the grill is going to be out there,
Yeah.
and where I do, like I said, my canning. Because when you in the hot heat of this summer, when you can in your kitchen, it can get really hot and warm. And
It does.
so that would be a dream of mine to have it kind of like a summer kitchen.
Our thought was to use the other end for the store our firewood. There are some drawbacks about storing your firewood right up against your house, and mice is the number
Mice.
one. Mice and bugs.
Mice and bugs, yeah.
We have the firewood stacked away, maybe 100 feet away from the house. And I like to stack it far enough apart that a cat can get through there. The cat we have is just a superb Mauser.
Yeah.
And he's
good at catching mice.
I don't know if I've ever, I saw some sign that there were mice in our old chicken coop, the one that we took down. The cat doesn't go inside the chicken coop, but I would see that cat sitting outside, just sitting there waiting, and
Yeah.
he's a very, very good Mauser.
But we have a dog, Spud, and he is almost 14 years old. He's getting pretty old, and I
12
took
and a
him
half.
to the veterinary the
12
other
and a
day. How old is he? 13 and a half?
12 and a half.
Is he 12 and a half?
He's 2 years younger than Morgan.
Oh, he's 2 years younger than Morgan. I thought he was like a year younger.
No.
12 and a half. Okay. I took him to the veterinary because his hips are not doing good. He's very slow. He's almost can't hear. And I just want to make sure that he's not in pain. Veterinary said any years over 10 to 12 is bonus years for like a German Shepherd. his
Really?
age.
Bonus years?
I think so. 10 to 12. They usually last around 10 to 12 years.
Wow.
And anything above that, if I understood her right, she said are bonus years.
Well, that kind of sucks. Maybe we need to get a dog. If we get another dog, get one that's not a purebred, because
Yeah.
those.
It's sad seeing your pet get older, because we had him since he was just a wee little puppy.
He used to do a standing jump in the back of my truck.
Yeah, he would go he would go, when we went up the mountains or we went by the lake, he would always go with us.
An interesting thing about dogs jumping in and out of trucks that I did not know. When I went, when Marcus Strom and I went to Iowa to hunt pheasants a couple of years ago, my nephew has some really high-end bird dogs, and
Okay.
he would not let his dogs, he trained them, he wouldn't let them
Not-
jump off or onto the truck.
Oh, are you serious? Why
He
not?
said it'll take 2 to 3 years, if I remember right, off the life of that dog's hips. So
That's bad, because we did that all the time.
I had
Poor Spud.
no idea.
Huh.
Jumping
That's-
off and on a truck, he said, will take years couple years off their life of their
Now,
hips.
oh, poor Spud. But the veterinary did give me some. She said there's not much you can do for his hips because it's hereditary.
It's old age.
Yes.
It
And-
comes. German Shepherds, like a purebred. When they're purebred like that, there's some of that stuff that shows up. So
Yeah.
the toughest dogs you can get is a crossbred.
Yeah.
Because the good strains traits will naturally come out on top.
If we ever get another dog, I would love to get like a rat terrier. I like rat terriers.
So instead of being able to ward off the bear, the bear would choke him as he's eating him.
Basically, I like terrier dogs. They're so good at sniffing out, rats. And
Yeah.
I remember our dog used to, he would be good at finding moles or anything in the ground. Rat terriers.
Yeah. But getting back to the current events, we've been getting a lot of firewood from the first 2 windstorms that went through. Her brother Marcus has a property he's developing. He had it select cut logged. The windstorm came through and took down a lot of trees. And I was probably going to get 3 to 4 years worth of firewood over there. So that's one thing we've been doing. We've cut a few loads into the length we need, but we have probably 5 loads out there that are just cut like 14, 16 foot long that were just dumped. So those are in the way. I need to get those stacked up, and we'll go along and show you guys the process of taking a tree and milling it into something that we can use. Another thing that got damaged, and you guys might remember on one of the previous videos, is the greenhouse. I went out just probably 5:30, 6 o'clock then and took a round. And the greenhouse, I thought I was gonna watch it just get ripped to shreds and blow away. It was leaning back and forth. It's made out of PVC pipe. It's decently strong, but it flexes. Well, a bunch of the bracing in it busted off because it flexed so violently. Not really sure what we're going to do about that. I may need to take the plastic off.
I think you're going to have to redo it. Kind of torn up or broken.
I could probably get another year or 2 out of it, but man, I just don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, the plastic is ripped because the PVC broke. A number of trees landed next to it, parallel with it. If one tree would have landed on it, that thing would have just been flattened like a pancake.
Yeah. And we just built it last summer.
Yeah, it's not even a year old yet, or almost a year old. We built it almost a year ago.
We did record it, so if you want to go back and watch that video,
Yeah.
we have a video on building that greenhouse.
If I do redo it, some option on the table might be to completely redo it as far as getting a thicker diameter, larger diameter piping.
Yeah.
PVC pipe to make the bows stronger. I'm not sure. I would basically be buying an entirely new greenhouse. With this, if I would take the plastic off and redo, the ends don't need to be redone.
Is there any way we could build a greenhouse or redo the greenhouse where we could roll up the sides so the air could circulate through it and it's not so hot in the summertime, and maybe build it bigger? Because we could put in some
I have the frame,
early
man.
crops like lettuce and radishes and
Rolling it up on the sides.
yeah, like we used to. Did we not?
No,
Did we not?
we never had one that rolled
Okay.
up on the sides.
Just so in the heat of the summer it doesn't get so hot inside.
Yeah, because it gets hot enough that the tomato plants are surviving. They're not thriving. If they get above
Yes.
110, 112, they don't do very well. They're just kind of sitting there. They almost start wilting, and then by the next day they're looking nice and fresh again. And then mid-morning it gets
And we need to put in some sprinkler systems. Not a sprinkler, but
a misting.
something
that would
to
work, just a
cool
mister.
it down. Yes, I'd love to have a bigger greenhouse. More tomatoes, pepper plants.
I know, but we never even filled it up last year. It wasn't
We
even full
we
last
filled
time.
it up pretty good last year. I'd like to plant more tomatoes, more peppers. So I can,
We could put
can
quite a
some
bit more in
salsa.
it. Yeah. Well,
Hot
they didn't do
peppers.
that good last year.
Maybe it was too hot.
Greenhouse didn't do that good.
Was it the soil?
The mistake I made is I took maybe half a gallon or about a gallon's cup size gallon of soil out
Okay.
and put garden soil in it, and that wasn't enough. And the tomato plants did very well until the root system got out of that and they started going into the soil that was there naturally, which was forest floor, very acidic.
Yes.
And they turned kind of yellowish and just didn't look very healthy.
Well, hon, should we get a Conklin system where we test the soil and give it what it needs instead of just guessing and putting stuff on
Well,
it? Why don't we go and
what
get a
what I-
sample
yeah.
and figure out what it actually needs?
We need to do that for the whole garden. What I'd like to do for the greenhouse is I'd like to maybe do raised beds. I'm not a big fan of raised beds for some odd reason.
Yeah, me neither.
But my thought was if I built, I don't know what I'd take. I could use barrel rings. Those would be nice.
For what?
Maybe a foot high, and then get completely different soil.
Oh,
Go somewhere to a nursery. And
that's a lot of work to fill up a barrel ring.
well, it would only be
Would it be for one plant?
10 inches high.
Oh,
I think what I'm going to do is, because there's chickens in there right now, I have young birds in there that it's not good for a young bird to have the high protein, lay mash protein or pellets, the high protein that is needed for maximum egg production. And they shouldn't have that until they're pretty much laying. So I kind of need to keep my chickens separated for
Yeah.
a while if I can. So that's why they're in the greenhouse. When I get that done, and the other thing is we can't plant early here. It just doesn't.
it
pay.
just does not
It
do good.
freezes.
Not unless we could find a little tiny pot-bellied stove and put it in there just to warm it up during the night.
I have a stove I could put in there.
But is it too big? Is it the right size?
It wouldn't be too big. It would take a good sized stove.
It would be great to try that. And plant. See if we have tomatoes before anyone else does.
It can get down to about 22, 23 degrees. And a lot of times it doesn't freeze. 25 is usually pretty safe. But last year we had 3-4 mornings in a row where it got down to 17, 18 degrees. And
But it wouldn't matter if we had a stove in there.
I have to get a stove in there, keep it fired up. I guess I would just look at what the projected temperature is and have a bunch of firewood out there. I did buy a heater to put in it, but boy, it gets to be pretty expensive when you're buying fuel to heat up your greenhouse. Kind of defeating the purpose at that point.
Yes. So let me check if I can find some comments here. I know you guys left some comments.
So the boys got 2 days off of school, but they were helping with the trees the first day, and then Friday it snowed and got cold, wet snow. Didn't do a whole lot. I ended up going to Kalispell, getting a bigger generator. Spent part of a day trying to figure out why it wouldn't start. Turns out it needed a new battery, and I had to get a new plug for it, get wire, hook that all up. And unfortunately, it's not big enough for what I had gotten it for. I was pretty sure that size was going to be big enough to run our water heater, but it wouldn't run the water heater and the rest of the house. It would just flip the breaker. So it's a little depressing when you walk outside because we worked so hard to clean everything up, leave the trees we wanted, try to take the brush down in spots, leave a barrier out by the road. And if you can imagine, just like a microburst comes through and just kind of pushes the hayfield down, or a cornfield, which most of us who grew up in agriculture have seen that. It's kind of that way. Boy, it's going to be a lot of cleanup, a lot of weeding out trees that are down, blowing up, blown over, bent. We'll have to see. Something that would be very useful would be a large wood chipper.
Yeah, we need to get a wood chipper.
Something that instead of hauling them to the landfill or trying to stack them for a year to dry them so we can burn them, or burn them during the season that we can burn slash piles. Just take them over and just have a designated area where you're going to just chip everything up into mulch.
Yes. Janice W6222 said, we had this happen on our farm several years ago. We were told the wind came from the opposite direction it usually comes from and hit the trees on their weak side. We were told trees always have a strong side caused by bracing against the wind side. We had enough firewood to last 3 years. That sounds like us.
Yeah. When I checked Wednesday night, the wind was predicted to come out of the southwest. And our trees, according to the majority of the trees, the way they fell, the wind was coming from the northwest. So instead of coming from that direction, the wind came from that direction. If it had came from the southwest the way it was predicted, my barn would have got hit, would definitely have been hit by one of those two big trees, if not both the big trees.
Cynthia, you said, wow, what an amazing blessing that no trees landed on any buildings and you all are safe. I'm from Texas and we have a lot of storms here.
So when you think about it, it wasn't as, like Eastern Montana, the tornado belt, whatever.
Does Montana have tornadoes?
No, I'm talking like Eastern Montana or Tornado Alley in the Midwest, like Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska, those places, where the cold fronts from the Rocky Mountains and Canada come down and meet the warm southern air from the Gulf. That's where tornadoes and stuff form. In the wide open, it usually is a lot windier. Well, anything that's standing, you have to be strong in order to grow. As far as trees, the trees here are not used to that. That's why so many of them go down. I was expecting Libby to be absolute chaos, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
There's some trees that went down, but it's a swath, couple of miles wide. Like when I went to Kalispell, like from our road to the highway, and then down the highway about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, all of a sudden, it was like there was no storm here.
It was almost like a tornado or a swath.
It's like a path where a microburst went through and just pushed everything down.
Yeah. Julia Bauman, you said, Michigan here. This wind arrives tonight at 2 a.m. I know Michigan can get windy. Michigan is very windy state. Probably because of the Great Lakes.
I heard a number of different I heard various different numbers on how windy it was. It was predicted to hit 73, 74, 75 miles an hour. I heard in Libby they recorded over 80 miles an hour. And in Kalispell, in the Flathead, somebody posted that it was recorded at mid-90s, getting close to 100 miles an hour. So I really don't know how windy it was. I just know it was a lot windier than what I would like to see it.
We've been working downstairs. So as some of you might have realized, I haven't been posting as much the last while. And it's not because I can't find things to post. It's because I needed a break. I need a break from YouTube. I just want to take time off, spend time with the family, and not have to think about recording everything I do. Yeah. And I had a comment that said, why didn't you record Marvin remodeling the downstairs? And first of all, we try to, when it comes to the kids' rooms and where they sleep and private places where the children are, we try to kind of keep that private.
I mean, that I guess that would have been a good thing because I installed the flooring, I hung the drywall myself, did all the taping and texturing myself, I did the wiring myself. I'm making all the ceiling boards, cutting those, shaping those, staining, varnishing, installing.
Yes.
building my own doors. Yeah,
Yes.
there's
I know that people enjoy watching that stuff, but I guess one of the reasons we did not is because it is the children's room. When it comes to the children, I just kind of like to keep that private. But I do know that people enjoy watching remodeling, painting, and that would have been a great project.
Yeah.
Each of the boys have their own room, and we let each one pick out the color that they wanted for their room. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
That each one of the boys could pick out the color that they wanted for their room. So they did that, except Jordan.
Jordan. I did his last winter, and I just used the same paint that we have up here, this
same paint
color,
this
and
year. And he's kind of bummed out, I think, that he could not pick his color. So we may have to repaint that room.
yeah, we might have to. It'd be a bunch of masking, but it wouldn't be that hard to do.
No. And it's the same color as this. And so we may just have to repaint
It all
his
depends.
color.
Maybe we should have him go in and pick his color, and then depending on what he picks, we could say, no, I don't think we can do it.
Oh, maybe it's like an orange color. And we can say, no.
He did mention something about Blippi, orange and blue.
Orange and blue. We'll have to think about that one.
I doubt it.
Yeah, Jordan used to love Blippi. That was like his favorite TV show.
Yep.
But he's outgrown that. So he doesn't
Yeah,
like Blippi anymore.
kind of phased out of that, and
He's 8 years old, so he's grown out of that.
So anyway, we'll take you guys along when we get to building the deck. We're in spring breakup now, so not going to be able to get any concrete trucks in here. But that will entail taking the little grass off that we have here, forming it up, getting it ready for concrete, putting the rebar in, pouring the concrete. It will entail taking these trees, cutting them into posts, beams, rafters for the shiplap that go on top of the rafters, the whole entire thing. We need to figure out what kind of concrete we want. If we want stamped concrete, I'm gonna have to get somebody to do it, because I don't know how to do
Yeah,
that.
I'd love to have stamped concrete. I'd like to have just a beautiful setup where I can do my canning. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. So this is Sunday evening. We thought we'd sit down, do a chat. We appreciate all of our viewers and subscribers who faithfully watch us every week. You guys make it fun for us.
Yep.
So we appreciate that. Thank you for watching.